Greetings everyone, it's Rick Williams from RICKommendations, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today we're going to talk about the Cotswold Way. The Cotswold Way is a national trail with great significance which is in the southwestern part of England. It runs from the charming village of Chippingamden in the north to the beautiful and historic city of Bath in the south. The trail is about 103 to 110 miles long, depending on a couple of diversions that you can take, which extend it a little further. But believe me, by the time we were done walking this 12-day trip, it was more like 138 miles. That's because you're taking time out to go see something on the side, you're going to a pub for dinner, you're going to walk to your hotel, and so it's a bit of a walk, and you definitely need to be well prepared for it. This area has incredible historic significance. The region, the Cotswolds, as they're known, which either means sheep grazing on a hillside, or as a local told me, Cots and Wald meaning trees on a hill. I can't really tell you, but it is an absolutely beautiful area. It's one of the largest preserved areas in England, and rightfully so. It goes over massive amounts of varied terrain, from valleys to the hills that you climb, which some can be very steep, and grand vistas. It can be sunny, it can be rainy, and it can be very, very muddy. The Cotswolds has a history which goes back to the Neolithic period as far as humans are concerned, and that's a period that goes from 10,000 to 2000 BC. So we're talking old. On the way, we did actually encounter a great number of Neolithic burial chambers, which are a little bit imposing and kind of fascinating when you think about how many thousands and thousands of years ago these villages were there. Now, when you hear people talk about the Cotswolds, everybody goes, oh yeah, the place with all the mustardy ochre buildings. That's because the buildings, for the most part, not everything, are made of the local Cotswold stone, which has this beautiful mustardy ochre color, and it really creates a sense of place. You really know you're there when you see that. Now, when you take off on this hike, you go through pastures, you go through people's backyards practically, because you're allowed to do that in these areas. But you have to be very respectful, and everybody is. You encounter many people on the trail who are out for a day hike, because the Cotswold Way does encounter many trails and villages that are very nearby. And so people take their dogs on walks. Everybody, incredibly friendly. Everybody, especially the dogs, want to meet you, want to talk to you, and want to tell you all about the area, where you're going, where you've been, and many times going, oh, you're walking the whole trail? But it's nice because it really is pretty relatively mellow, but you do need to prepare for it. And by that, I mean, I walked 7 miles a day for half a year before we took this trail. And when we hit some of those inclines and that kind of thing, on an 18-mile day, you're really happy you did it. Now, this walk takes you through some of the most delightful villages with names like Stanton, Wootton-under-Edge, Cold Ashton, and many others, and all the time you're going, wow, I wonder what that means. And if you ask the locals, they'd tell you. This trip we took, there were 5 of us, my friends George and Angela, and their friends Tim and Lori, I should say my friends as well, and we had a wonderful time. Walking through a village one day, Tim looked over in a bookshop and saw a book entitled 5 on a Hike Together. What could be more appropriate? It was really wonderful to share this experience with these other people. Now, to do a hike like this, you can do it on your own, and we met people who were doing that. They were just backpacking and spending the night in a meadow or a field somewhere. But we chose to use a company called Max Adventures, and we couldn't have been more pleased. They were professional. They were there when you needed them, even in the beginning when we were having some trouble with our early stages of getting the GPS going, because yes, you have GPS to take you on this trail, and boy, do you need it, however well marked this place is. They were supportive, and what they do is they give you the opportunity to take off every morning on your walk with a simple day pack on your back. And in that pack, you want to have some refreshments, you want to have plenty of water, you want to have the guide information that they've given you, and first aid supplies should anything happen, and all that sort of thing. And they take your luggage from one location to the next. They also book every location for you. each place gives you a wonderful breakfast in the morning, and we were absolutely thrilled with them, and then lets you go on your way about the day. And we did make sure we either had snacks for lunch, or we sometimes had a place to stop and have a little bite, but then you're on your own when it comes to dinner. And there are many places that they recommend, and we found them to be very, very fine. Now, as I said, the terrain is quite varied. You can find yourself going up very steep hills and looking to one side and seeing it swoop away from you down into the valley, and you're walking along the edge of a precipice. Other times you are clogging through mud and having it cake on your shoes like you wouldn't believe, or as I did, deciding I really wanted to go skiing in the mud. Well, maybe I didn't decide, but that's what I ended up doing. Fortunately, even though I took a pretty hard fall and I got my shoulder pretty banged up, I said, this thing's going in a sling and I'm walking the rest of this if it's broken. Fortunately, the next day it was perfectly fine. You encounter many animals. It's unbelievable. You're walking by horses, you're walking by cows, sheep, steers, all kinds of creatures, and a lot of the local bird life. You see some pheasants and everything else, and it's really beautiful. You just can listen to the sounds of nature all around you, whether it's the wind howling around you, or rain falling, or just listening to the wildlife and everything else that's there. A really, truly beautiful experience. The landscape is absolutely spectacular. My favorite color is green, so I couldn't have been in a happier place in my life. However, when you're walking through these forests of ancient trees, you encounter fields covering everything of wild garlic, and boy, can you smell it. Just looks like it's snow on the ground. And another thing, the bluebells. The English love their bluebells. One day, you see them in the woods, but one day we were walking up to the top of a hill, and all these people are passing us by, and one lady stopped and said to me, oh, you aren't gonna believe what you're gonna see. And I said, bluebells? And she said, yes. like it was a treasure of Tutankhamun. And sure enough, we got to the top of this hill, which was like that, and there they all were. They'd walked around the side, but we had to stay true to the path, so we walked up that incline, and it opened in front of us, and there were fields everywhere covered with bluebells, and these folks were all sitting out there with their thermoses and their cups of tea, just taking it in, and it was such a wonderful feeling to be part of that experience. Now, the accommodations that Max had provided us with were really quite exemplary. There was a little hitch there, here and there, but for the most part, absolutely beautiful accommodations. Real high quality, and many places not only were you staying there, but you were having dinner there as well. And you felt like you were in a 5-star hotel, and some of them, I believe, were. They sometimes were over a pub, so it may have gotten a little noisy at night, but what a way to feel like you're part of the experience. Really delightful accommodations, and I can't be happier with how pleased we were with what we were presented with on all these different places in different towns. Sometimes it was a little B&B with a couple that ran it. Sometimes it was a large hotel in a big city. So as I said, we did this hike in 12 days. You can do it in less, you can do it in more. It depends on what feels good to you. This really worked for us with our time constraints and what we all felt up to doing. We were all pretty experienced at this kind of thing, so that was a good way to go. And we didn't feel rushed, but we felt like we had the leisure time we needed. So Max was really a great experience dealing with them, and I can't recommend them enough. So there you have it, folks. That's the Cotswold Way in southwestern England, a truly beautiful, spectacular region, and a really wonderful experience. I hope that you've enjoyed this and that you will like and subscribe. I'm Rick Williams from RICKommendations, and thank you for watching. Cheers.